All right. Hello, everybody. How are you guys? I hope you guys are good. Hope you're having an awesome day. It has not started storming here yet. It is supposed to. I guess we're supposed to get really bad storms, but hasn't started yet. So quick little update for those of you that do not get my community posts. Bella had her babies today. Yep, she went into labor at about 4:50 this morning. And she ended up having 10 puppies today. And they're all doing good so far. Bella's good, puppies are good. So that's good news. So start out with some good news for the day. They're all so freaking cute too. I mean, that's 12 dogs though. That is a lot. I know as soon as I can, I will post pictures. Just look for them on our Instagram. Yep, they're wicked freaking cute. And she ended up having like 5 at first. And then a couple hours later, she had like 2 more. And then a couple hours later, she had 2 more. And then she finally had her last one, which was baby number 10. So yeah, they're all really, really cute. And like I said, I'll get pictures up as soon as I can. And yeah, they're adorable. Okay, so I got a lot that I want to get into tonight. So thank you guys so much for being here. It's been a while. Glad to be back with you guys. So let's just jump right on in, shall we? Leslie, yes, Bella she is resting. She's been resting she's very protective. She wants to be right with her babies. So they've just been chilling. She's getting some rest. Bella is a purebred AKC registered German Shepherd. And the dad is a German Shepherd Pit Bull mix. Yeah, we didn't want it to go down like that. It wasn't supposed to happen that way, but that's how it happened. So, but they're all so freaking cute, you guys. Okay, so let's just jump right on into things. All right, are you guys ready? Are you hungry? Lab made chicken meat grown from cancer cells receives FDA approval. Are you ready to eat tumor nuggets? Okay. Artificial chicken meat grown in stainless steel bioreactors is the next thing to hit the American market, thanks to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, aka the FDA. The corrupt federal regulatory agency has green-lighted not just one, but 2 different lab-grown chicken meat products for human consumption, one produced by Upside Foods and the other by GOOD Meat, both based out of California. Last year, the FDA announced that the laboratory-derived chicken made by Upside Food is safe to eat, which means the company can soon start mass producing it for the consumer market. To manufacture its meat, Upside Foods harvests cells from live animals, chicken tissue, and uses the cells to grow meat in stainless steel tanks known as bioreactors. The FDA proudly announced that it has no further questions about the safety of Upside Foods fake meat, with Commissioner Robert M. Califf declared to be safe for human consumption. The world is experiencing a food revolution. Yes, unfortunately, though, in my opinion, it seems to be going the wrong direction. Advancements in cell culture technology are enabling food developers to use animal cells obtained from livestock, poultry, and seafood in the production of food, with these products expected to be ready for the U.S. market in the near future. FDA Commissioner says agency's main purpose is to promote fake food. He went on to praise the fake meat industry for supporting the FDA's own mission, which apparently involves rubber stamping approval for anything and everything that is synthetic and probably unhealthy for people to eat. The FDA's goal is to support innovation in food technologies while always maintaining as our first priority the safety of the foods available to the U.S. consumers, he said. Upside Foods founder and CEO Uma Valetti publicly celebrated the FDA's decision, calling it a really good thing for the company's bottom line. As for GOOD meat, Reuters celebrated the FDA's decision to make it the second cultivated meat product available on the market. Good Meats Chicken is the second cultivated meat product to receive a no questions letter from the FDA after California Upside Foods got the regulator's green light for its cultivated chicken breast last November. A no questions letter. Like, we have no questions, nothing. We have nothing to say about this. We have nothing to, we don't require any further testing. We don't, from this lab grown meat. It's like so unnatural, and it's a no question thing, The letter means the FDA accepted the company's conclusion that its product is safe for humans to eat, just like it did with Upside Foods. The FDA indicated that it has no questions at this time. Okay, so enough with the chicken. Now let's move on. Lab-grown meat is cleared for sale in the United States. Okay, and so this is just another one, basically going over the same exact thing. Let's see. Good Meat, which is owned by plant-based egg substitute maker Eat Just, said that production is starting immediately. Cultivated or lab-grown meat is grown in a giant vat, much like what you'd find at a beer brewery. That just sounds so disgusting to me. Like, so unnatural. I mean, it's bizarre. But hey, guys, look for it soon to be in a store near you. If you're ever sick of eating, regular, good old-fashioned meat, maybe try some meat grown in a petri dish, in a vat, in some warehouse somewhere. So that's nice. All right. Next. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. I got to go this way. Check this story out. It was completely her voice. A CNY mom is convinced scary phone scam is latest AI trick. Now, this happened in Cazenovia, New York. Amy Conley was getting a pedicure the day before her daughter's wedding when her cell phone rang. She heard her daughter's voice along with sirens in the background. She was sobbing, Conley said. She kept saying, "Mom, Mom." Then she said she got in a car accident. Conley was stunned. It was completely her voice. Conley, a fifth-grade teacher, said no doubt. But as convincing as the voice sounded, the call didn't make any sense. Conley told Syracuse.com, the Post-Standard, a few days after the wedding. It came in labeled no caller ID. Another person on the line claimed to be a cop and said her daughter was charged with texting while driving. She had caused a wreck that broke her nose and now needed $15,000 for bail. Now, luckily, this mom caught on real quick and realized that this is not how things are, this is not how things go. So she ended up, calling her daughter. But as rattled as she was, Conley didn't fall for the scam. She quickly texted her daughter, Mary Kate. "Don't worry about your nose," Mom wrote. The real Mary Kate called her mom right away. She was fine. There was no car accident and no broken nose. Conley and her family believe a scammer used AI, or artificial intelligence, to clone her daughter's voice. She says she's still rattled by how close she came to becoming the victim of fraud. They are sharing their story with Syracuse.com readers to warn other people about this latest version of phone scamming. I mean, that's crazy. In some past scams, someone calls an older person and pretends to be a young family member arrested or in need of money. In that scenario, the scammers might use a pre recorded clip of the person's voice. But with AI, the fraudsters can take just a few seconds of someone speaking and use that to generate new words that sound exactly like the original speaker, according to an expert in AI and fraud from John Jay College. It's very simple and easy to do using AI, said Chelsea Benz, a licensed private investigator, certified fraud examiner, and assistant professor of security management at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. This is a proliferating area of fraud, and we're going to be seeing more of this, she said. The scammers can find the voice clips on social media or other places on the internet, Benz said, or they might call the person and capture them saying hello and answering a few questions before hanging up. That's all it takes, Ben said. A few words, in a matter of seconds, and the voice can be cloned. Mary Kate told Syracuse.com she doesn't know how the scammers got her voice. She said she hasn't been on social media in the past few months. She works in human resources, and she said she does often get random calls. She wonders if that could be how her voice was cloned. Tom Newton, speaking for the Onondaga County Sheriff's Office, said there haven't been a lot of reports of this specific scam so far, but he said he expects there will be more with the ease of voice cloning using technology like AI. For the Conleys, the scam happened just a day before Mary Kate and Chris wed. Conley was with her other daughter and a bridesmaid at a nail salon in Kaz when the frightening call came in. Conley answered the call from an unknown number. She heard sirens and what sounded like Mary Kate crying and calling for her mom. Conley asked if she was okay. The voice that sounded like Mary Kate said that she broke her nose. "Where are you?" Conley asked. After a short pause, Mary Kate's voice said, "I came to the city to get something." Her mom was puzzled. What city? She thought. Mary Kate lives in Hannibal, so Conley asked if she meant Oswego. The voice said yes. Her daughter's voice said someone wanted to speak to her. A man then identified himself as a police officer. He told Conley about the accident and the broken nose. He gave her a case number and told her to hang up. Conley should expect another call. Then a woman from the county called that provided the same case number. Conley told Syracuse.com the woman went through the details of the accident and the charge of texting while driving. Mary Kate had been arrested and her mom needed to pay $15,000 for bail. Red flags were going off and something was off, Conley later told Syracuse.com, but she couldn't ignore it. It was Mary Kate's voice. I believed it to be true. The woman then asked Conley how much she could pay, and Conley said $5,000. The woman said she'd ask the judge and call her back. That's when Conley texted her daughter. Your nose will be fine, she assured her. The makeup artist is wonderful. And that's when the real Mary Kate called with the news that she was fine. Isn't that crazy? Prove it, her mom said, still confused. Mary Kate named her grandfather and then sent her mom a photo of herself. Conley never got a call back. She also didn't call local law enforcement because the first call had no number. But what she did do was get her daughter's location and check in with her frequently until the wedding the next day. I was just so rattled, she said. Now, she and her family have a code word they will say if there's an emergency, something experts advise families to do as well. What else can people do? John J. Benz said to be wary of calls from numbers you don't recognize. And it seems odd. Hang up and call the person they are referencing. If you answer a call and it's a wrong number, try not to say too much. I mean, that's just crazy. You know, and what's the real bummer here is that AI could do so many wonderful things. It really could. I mean, we could, people could use that for good. But of course, the dark forces always got it going for bad things like that. Oh my gosh. Let me get this off. Sorry, guys. Forgot that was still on the screen. My bad. All right. If you guys haven't already, can you just do me a solid and go ahead and hit that like button to show some support? Thank you. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this before at this point. But I mean, this was just crazy. Frightening footage shows migrant viciously attack grandma and child in France. What it was is a kidnapping. This guy was trying to take the child. And I mean, it's sad when you live in a world where like this grandma could not let this, I mean, she was like right on to her granddaughter. Like you can't there, you have to be so, so careful. But let's check this out. It's really actually no, I better not, because so what happens in this video is this guy here. The grandma starts to realize something is wrong, and she pushes the granddaughter inside, and then she goes in to close the door, and this guy comes running up, sticks his foot in the door, and then grabs the grandma, throws her back outside onto the sidewalk, and throws the little girl down the sidewalk. And then he picks up some stuff that he dropped, and then tries to go after the little girl. But the little girl ran back, and they were able to, the guy was arrested. He was found. So cops did get him. But it happened in a matter of seconds. And, guys, that's all it takes, just seconds. That could have been so, so, so bad, But yeah, I don't want to, because of what he did, I don't want to play it and then, get in trouble. So, all right, let's move on to the next thing. All right, Obama calls for digital fingerprints to help censor misinformation online. Former President Obama has called for digital fingerprints to be mandatory online to help authorities censor so-called misinformation. In a new interview, Obama suggested the development of new technology to track and identify people online to combat disinformation. He argues that such a move would help to remove misleading news from the internet and provide consumers with only true information. Okay, now here's the problem with this. They have their version of truth that they want pushed, right? And anybody that doesn't agree with that it's going to be considered misinformation. So what they want to do, like the end goal, is to have only what they want you to know on the internet, and everything else will have been removed. The younger generation of kids, like, they're not going to have access to all of the information that we currently have access to. And they're taking that away more and more every day. More and more information is disappearing off the internet. Actual true information is disappearing off the internet. And, that's the plan. And they want to know exactly who you are that is putting out that opposing theory or that opposing argument to what is being said. And then they will remove you from the, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole plan here. Obama sat down with his former White House senior advisor, David, for a conversation on the latter's podcast, The X-Files, on CNN Audio. During the interview, he noted he's seen misinformation, disinformation, and deep fakes targeting Obama. As I've told people, because I was the first digital president when I left office, I was probably the most recorded, filmed, photographed human in history, which is kind of a weird thing, responded Obama. But just the odds are that I was. As a consequence, there's a lot of raw material there. Obama added that the deep fakes, digitally manipulated images, audio or video that appear almost legitimate, started with a version of him dancing, saying dirty limericks, or similar kinds of activity. That technology is here now, continued Obama. He then warned about the issue getting worse moving forward. So most immediately, we're going to have all the problems we had with misinformation before, but this next election cycle will be worse. Obama then suggested digital fingerprints to discern truth from the misinformation. And the need for us, the general public, I think, to be more discriminating consumers of news and information. They need for us to, over time, to develop technologies to create watermarks or digital fingerprints so we know what is true and what is not true. There's a whole bunch of work that's going to have to be done there. But in the short term, it's really going to be up to the American people to kind of say. Obama and Axelrod went on to say that today many consumers are only viewing information from sources they are predisposed to agree with and will likely believe what they see. Obviously, we saw that during the Big V stuff, added Obama, referring to the Big C. So I am concerned about it. And I think the best we're going to be able to do is constantly remind people that this is out there. The former president said he thinks most people are now aware that not everything that pops up on your phone is true, but cautioned misinformation can be used to discourage people from voting by characterizing the system as rigged and corrupt. Well, the public has, the public has the views and opinions that they have. If they think that it's rigged and corrupt, it's because that's what they've seen. That's what they, watched happen. That's their experience. That's their perception, right? So you coming out and saying, well, I disagree is not going to change anything. You can say that till the cows come home. Because I know what I saw. I know what I witnessed. That's how it's going to be. And I am okay. And I am worried about what kind of cynicism developing even further during the course of this next election. The interview came about 6 weeks after the Obama Foundation on World Press Freedom Day posted a recent video of the former president lecturing about widespread disinformation and the need for journalists to create an information environment to support democracy. Last year, Obama announced that his foundation would be launching a new initiative to combat misinformation. Days later, Obama angered conservatives with a speech at Stanford University warning of the dangers of disinformation. During the speech, Obama said, "All we see is a constant feed of content where useful factual information and happy diversions and cat videos flow alongside lies, conspiracy theories, junk science, quackery, white supremacists, racetracks." Critics were quick to point out that Obama promoted the debunked narrative that President Donald Trump colluded with Russia to win the 2016 election. Obama infamously won PolitiFact's Lie of the Year in 2013 by telling Americans, if you like your health care plan, you can keep it, referring to the Affordable Care Act. More recently, Democrat President Joe Biden and his administration came under fire for trying to start the now defunct Disinformation Governance Board under the Department of Homeland Security. I mean, they want you to believe what they want you to believe, and that's that. Conservatives argued such an initiative would act as a ministry of truth in a dystopian society by suppressing free speech and dissent under the guise of stopping misinformation. So what do you guys think? I mean, I agree that there's a lot of things that should be taken and removed completely off the internet. 100% agree on that. But those things that I think need to be taken off, they'll never go for that, right? They want that stuff on the internet. They just want to go after people who are out there just questioning things, just asking questions, just looking for, the truth. All right. All right, now listen to this, you guys. This is crazy. Listen to how this teacher talked to this child. Sorry, hold on. Let me mute myself real quick.
I tell you, You've just really upset someone. Saying things like should be in an asylum.
I didn't say that. I just said if they want to identify as a cat or something, then they're like genuinely on there.
And they've gone.
Yeah, they're
mentally
crazy.
unstable.
You were questioning their identity.
I wasn't a question. I was just saying about the gender. I didn't say anything about them.
But where did you get this idea from? There's only two genders.
I just think it's
There
my
is.
opinion.
That is my opinion.
If I
There is
respect
only
their
two
opinion, can't they respect my
It
opinion?
is not an opinion.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
but
It's not an opinion you
There's
can
only two
have.
genders.
Most people think there's only two genders.
There's only a boy and a girl.
Literally. There's
Female,
no other
male.
private part. There's only two.
Gender is not linked to do with not linked
There
to
is
the
only two
parts that
genders.
you were born with. Gender is about how you identify, which is what I said right from the very beginning of
You
the
know, I just don't
lesson.
agree with that. So why should I have to listen to it? I don't agree with it.
Biological sex. There is actually 3 biological sexes because you can be born intersex. You can be born with male and female body parts or hormones.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, there's three. There's not 300.
Doesn't mean.
Yeah, there's 3. I'm talking about biological sex. In terms of gender, there are lots of genders.
Well, I just
There is
don't agree with
transgender.
that.
There is agender, people
Yeah,
that
but there
don't
is
believe
that.
they have a gender at all.
Yeah, but you can't have that. You
Can't have that. It's not a law.
Yeah, no, it's not a law, but it's our opinion. We just don't agree with it. We just think it's all just.
If you have a vagina, you're a girl. If you have a penis, you're a boy. That's
Yeah.
it.
But cisgender is not necessarily the way to be. You were talking about the fact that cisgender is the norm, that you identify with the gender, that with the sexual organs that you're born with,
Yeah.
or you're with. That's
Yeah.
basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Which is really despicable.
How? When it's.
If I
literally
called
true.
my mum right now, my mum would
Same.
be on my side.
If I called my mum, she'd say.
Well, that's very sad as well then.
How is it?
Loads of people agree with that. There's only a small majority of people who actually think that.
And why do you think we have so many problems in the world with homophobia?
Yeah, but
Because
that's
of
not
people
homophobia.
expressing.
That's gender.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
it
fine
is.
with lesbians and gay people.
Same.
I've got nothing against them.
Yeah, same.
But gender is, there is a link between it, and you're
How?
saying that people
There
can't
isn't one.
change
No, they
who they want to
can't.
be.
They can't. Unless you
You
get
are
a
so
penis
wrong.
attached. No, I'm not.
You're confusing sex and gender.
No, I'm not though. Because
Yes,
if you have
you
a
are.
vagina, you're a girl.
You can't have a vagina and be a girl.
And even then,
Gender
because
is
you've got
about
those genes.
how you identity,
I
how
just
you
don't agree with
identify.
it.
Yeah,
But
just
it's
not.
not an opinion that
Yes,
we
it is.
express in this
Yes,
school.
it is.
No, it's not. And if you don't like it, you need to go to a different school. So
I did go to a
I'm
different
reporting you to Miss Willis. You need to have a proper educational conversation about equality, diversity, and
I ain't doing
inclusion.
it. My mum
Because
said
I'm
never
not
do that.
having that expressed in my lesson. When I'm teaching you about you can be who you want to be,
Everyone else
how
thinks
you
it.
identify is up to
So
you.
Everyone else thinks it. They just don't say it because then all
Yeah.
this happens.
Maybe because they're polite and maybe they're sensitive.
I haven't said anything in all of the lessons I've been in. It's just because they turned around and started saying something. So I said, how can you identify as a cat when you're a girl?
Oh,
Yeah.
they're now writing a statement. I would imagine
Oh.
that you'll be asked to write a statement as well.
We will.
Yeah, we will.
And all of that because a girl turned to another girl and said, how can you identify as a cat when you are a girl? And the teacher acted like that and said, if you don't like it and you have a different opinion, you need to go to a different school. I would have said, absolutely, you're right. I think I do. And called my mom and been out of there. It's, I mean, it's just none of that belongs in a school. None of that belongs there. And the teachers need to, I think they forgot their place because their job is to not talk to children about that. Their job is to not teach children about that. We're just living in the upside down and it's crazy. And you can't have a different opinion. You can't think, like regular people think. You can't think like that because if you do, there's something wrong with you and you're treated like crap. Okay. Okay, guys, I guess we're up to puppy number 11. So another puppy just came. 11 freaking puppies. Okay. Next. Okay, now, yeah, I'm not going to play this, but I wanted to bring this up because this was a march in New York City, and literally everybody that was in there, they were chanting, "We're here, we're queer, and we're coming for your children." Now, people can say whatever they want to say about me, but this is a clown show. This is a circus. I feel like everybody is laughing. Like other countries are like, what in the hell is America doing? Like this is not even, it's not tasteful. It's so trashy. It's like a Jerry Springer show in a parade. Like that's what it is. And it's terrible, but it's a huge giant circus. And they're how long did I tell you guys? How long did I say it? They're coming after the kids. They're coming after the kids. They want the kids. They're coming after the kids. And now they're walking through the streets chanting it. And people think it's funny. People think it's awesome. And people want to support that. Oh, thank you, Noelle. I know, her first time and 11 babies. That is a lot. I would have thought like, maybe not 11. 11 is a lot. But anyways, thank you, Noelle. Thank you guys. Yes, Bella is very good. She is resting. She is awesome. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's just so, like, it's just raunchy. It's nasty. It's, something I would never take my child. I would never want my child to witness that. I can tell you. All right. 16-month-old dies after mom allegedly left her alone for over a week while she went on freaking vacation. The 20-year-old mother was arrested on suspicion of murder this week after she allegedly left her young child home alone for 8 days while she went on vacation. Cleveland Municipal Court's records show Crystal Candelario was arrested Monday, June 19th on a murder charge. A judge set her bond at $1 million the next day. According to the affidavit cited by WKYC-TV, Candelario returned home Friday, June 16th, to her home on West 97th Street in Cleveland and found her 16-month-old daughter, Jalen, gone. DEAD. Police reportedly noted the girl was extremely dehydrated. Candelario reportedly told the police that she traveled to Puerto Rico and Michigan for 8 days and left Jalen at home alone. The affidavit cited by WEWS-TV also says Jalen's play area consisted of soiled blankets and a bottom liner saturated with urine and feces. WEWS reports Jalen's cause of death has not been shared publicly yet. Candelario's preliminary hearing is scheduled for June 28th. Left her 16-month-old baby home alone for 8 days so she could go on vacation. I mean, who does that? What? I mean, who does that? Seriously.
Is that me?
What?
Is that on you?
No.
I can't. I see it was Samantha because she was taking. And then Dad saw it.
Gosh. Okay. Sorry, you guys. She wanted to tell me about the puppy. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Everyone that took a PCR test is probably in trouble. Let me go ahead and mute myself real quick and let this girl say what she's got to say.
Great question. The nasal swab tests that everyone's been taking are not tests. So what are they and what do they do? Luckily, I printed off this report out of the Slovak Republic before it disappeared from the internet. They performed a lab analysis on the test sticks between November 2020 and March of 2021. And what they found was nylon broken fibers at the ends of these test sticks. Their job is to disrupt the epithelium or the surface layer on the mucosa, all the way up your nose where it meets your brain. It's breaking through there and then subsequently leaching the contents of the nylon fibers, which is DARPA hydrogel and lithium. After coming into contact with organic fluid, this material, this DARPA hydrogel, will start to form crystalline structures in a fractal manner throughout the brain, making its way to the pineal gland. The DARPA hydrogel creates 3D crystalline structures, and they grow throughout the tissue. I'm going to read this part word for word. After spawning a mixture of nylon fiber fragments, DARPA hydrogel remains on the nasal mucosa under the pituitary and pineal gland, along with lithium. This mixture immediately reacts with living structures to form crystals that are directly oriented to the pineal gland, which has its own electromagnetic field. The shape of the crystals determines the type of hydrogel used. The crystals are conductive due to the lithium contained in it. The crystals can receive the signal from the transmitter to the cell and transmit signals from the cell to the transmitter. These are actually nano antennas. Lithium is an element that does not occur naturally in humans and is highly toxic to the pineal gland influence. In low doses, it blocks it, and in higher doses, it can completely destroy it. Aluminum and mercury also have toxic effects on the pineal gland, which are widely used in jibby jabs. The pineal gland produces serotonin, a hormone of happiness, and controls human biorhythms. It is crucial for higher brain activity, creativity, foresight, sixth sense, etc., and for social interactions of man. DARPA hydrogel is an artificial substance that creates a converter between the electromagnetic field and living cell, tissue, and organ, converts an electromagnetic signal from transmitter to a signal which a living cell understands and responds to. DARPA hydrogel and lithium block and destroy the pineal gland and cause the thinking person to become a controllable bio-robot. The jibby jabs also contain DARPA hydrogel, lithium, and patented genetic information.
I was telling everybody since 2020, do not take the test. I'm like, okay, think about this, you guys. They made everybody, right? They said it was so bad that any spray from your mouth, like a droplet, they said, right, could spread like that. Then why, and I always said this, then why do they have to take that swab and stick it all the way up your nose as far as they can go? You know what I mean? It didn't make sense. And I knew, I'm like, it has to be something else. It has to be something that they're trying to put in there or introduce into that system of your body. So yes, very, very unsafe, very insane to me that there was lines and lines of people lined up to say, hey, I want to get tested. Go ahead and shove one of them up in my brain, you know? I mean, they were doing it. People were having it done to their babies. I saw awful videos about parents having the doctors like force them up their baby's nose. And oh, it was brutal. Brutal. Oh, Well, you might want to rethink that one. Okay, let's move on. All this information is out there. It's all there. And oh my gosh, aluminum is so bad for you. Lithium. If you guys have not seen, if you go back to my 2020, 2021 videos, go back and watch some of them. I put all kinds of stuff out about all of this. All right, moving on. Sorry, hold on one second. I want to make sure I pull up. All right. Ohio woman arrested after posing as CPS worker to lure a 4-year-old boy away from his home. An Ohio woman is in custody after she approached a 4-year-old boy she did not know, started stroking his hair, and tried to lure him into a car. Video showed the 4-year-old on his bike in his front yard when a woman authorities identified as Lisa Necrelli, 44, put her hands on the boy's back and leaned down to talk to him for 3 minutes. The boy was turned away from Necrelli as she continued to rub the child's head. He then ran into his house to get his mother after telling Necrelli to wait outside. He's like, Mommy, there's some lady here and she said she needs to talk to you. And I said, well, we're getting ready to leave. Who is it, baby? Jamie Spradlin, the boy's mother tells Inside Edition. My name's Lisa. Tell her I'm from CPS. Video showed Necrelli telling the boy to tell his mother. Necrelli presented a legitimate-looking Child Protective Services badge and told Spradlin that the agency had received a complaint that she had needed to inspect the house. Spradlin says Necrelli entered the home and knew something was not right when Necrelli asked her where her child bathed. After the woman left, Spradlin called her husband, Tim, who reviewed the doorbell cam and saw the video of the woman caressing their son's hair. The parents tell Inside Edition they called CPS and were told there was no pending case on their household. Necrelli was arrested and charged with child enticement, burglary, and impersonating an officer. The boy's parents say they are thankful their son knew what to do. I mean, craziness. Ugh. Kids can't even play in their yard without some lunatic nut job wanting to come take their babies. All right. All right, so accounting error provides an extra $6.2 billion for Ukraine, the Pentagon says. Yeah, an error. It was an error. Just $6.2 billion.
Following up from some announcements earlier this year, during the department's regular oversight of our execution of Presidential Drawdown Authority for Ukraine, we discovered inconsistencies in equipment valuation for Ukraine. In a significant number of cases, services used replacement costs rather than net book value, thereby overestimating the value of the equipment drawn down from U.S. stocks and provided to Ukraine. Once we discovered this misvaluation, the comptroller reissued guidance on March 31st, clarifying how to value equipment in line with the financial management regulation and DoD policy to ensure we use the most accurate of accounting methods. We have confirmed that for FY23, the final calculation is $3.6 billion, and for FY22, it is $2.6 billion, for a combined total of $6.2 billion. These valuation errors in no way limit or restricted the size of any of our PDAs or impacted the provision of support to Ukraine. And while the DoD retains the authority to utilize the recaptured PDA, this has no bearing on appropriated USAI or Ukraine PDA replenishment funding approved by Congress.
Don't know how it happened. It was an accident. but you write a number down wrong on a tax paper, and holy moly, bring in the 87,000 armed IRS officers that y'all just employed. But the government can accidentally just give away $6 billion. All right, actor Jim. I don't know how you say his last name. I'm just going to call him Jim C. Actor Jim C. implicates U.S. agencies in child ST. Actor Jim C. joined Steve Bannon on the War Room on Tuesday evening. He, who is most famous for his role of Jesus in The Passion of the Christ, went on the War Room to promote his upcoming film, Sound of Freedom, by Angel Studios. The film is based on a true story that exposes the darkness of child T. You can purchase your tickets at angel.com to view the movie for an exclusive showing on the July 4th in theaters across America. He worked with several former federal agents and 30 Navy SEALs while filming in Colombia. During the interview, Jim C. implicated several U.S. agencies in child ST and worse. No, this is from Steve Bannon. Do you believe that that's part of the senior government apparatus just does not want to touch this? They profit off it. They don't mind if it happens. I mean, why would DHS, when they're in charge, and like you said, they're 5 drug agents to every 1 human trafficking agent. It's my opinion. I don't know what Jim's opinion is, but it's definitely my opinion that this is something they don't want to solve. This is what he had to say. You might have 14 people in the room and they all want you, but 2 have big enough voices where they can shut down those 12. And so right now, I don't think it was smart for, oh wait, must not be. Okay. Okay, let me just play this. If it'll let me, we'll see. All right, here goes nothing.
How to escape the heat if you don't have an air conditioner. This only takes 5 minutes. Tired.
Welcome back with Jim Caviezel.
Caviezel.
First, just for the film, and this film is to generate action. It's to generate action on Capitol Hill for major investigations. It's to generate a movement throughout the country. It is unacceptable that in this providential nation that we have, that we're the biggest demand side of the equation, both for the children for sex, as hard as that is to believe, plus the organ harvesting. I do, and so this is a start of a movement, and this is what we need. And this film will galvanize that, much as the Passion of the Christ galvanized so many evangelicals and traditional Catholics. I do want to say, there's not the organ harvesting part is not in the film. That's
No.
further research and things that you're working on. Et cetera.
No, this is an action adventure. This is taken. It's not a documentary. It has pulled all of the truths from his life into this piece of work. I mean, he's been on multiple missions.
And why was he canceled? Why did DHS said come home? Why did they say stop?
You'd have to ask Tim on that. You'd have to ask Tim.
Do you believe that that's part of the senior government apparatus? Just does not want to touch this. They profit off it. They don't mind if it happens. I mean, why would DHS, when they're in charge, and like you said, there's 5 drug agents to every 1 human trafficking agent.
Yes.
This trafficking is a massive problem. Everybody, people know it's a problem.
That's my opinion.
Nobody wants to
it's my opinion. I don't know what Tim's opinion, but it's definitely my opinion that this is something they don't want to solve. And so it's going to take the public
Do you think
to
that's
put the
why
light on
you
it.
think that's why they suppressed this film for 3 years after it was finished?
Absolutely. I believe that, look, we'll have people in there. And this is right after the Passion of the Christ. You might have 14 people in the room and they all want you, but 2 have big enough voices where they can shut down those 12. And so, right now, I don't think it was smart for Bud Light to, somebody woke up in the morning and said, "Hey, let's put transgender on our beer can." Okay, and then Target's looking, going, "Wow, look at all the billions they're losing. We got to do this too." Obviously something's going on, right?
What about the Dodgers with the your beloved Dodgers with the nuns of perpetual indulgence?
Yeah. See, so you have, in this particular case, you have a crucifix, our beloved Jesus Christ on a cross, and using him for a strip pole. I mean, the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. What monastery are they from? Are they nuns?
And they're honored.
But who wouldn't answer these questions? Ask them. Perpetual indulgence means grace. What kind of grace are you giving to Catholics when you insult them, or to Christians?
All right, if you guys want to watch the rest of that, you can go check that out. This is on the Gateway Pundit, and it's a movie that they tried to not get it to come out. No funding, nobody would fund it, didn't want it to come out. And then a bunch of people, Jason Shurka got involved and wanted to help pay for this movie to come out because it needs to be heard. And basically he's exposing the okay, how do I want to say this? They're a 3-letter agency, and the first letter is C. Okay. So wants to expose them in their huge role in human trafficking. So for those of you, go to angel.com and you can buy tickets. July 4th, it premieres in theaters. And I am going to show you a trailer to the movie. I've showed it once or twice before, but it's so important and a lot of people didn't get a chance to see it. So you got to check out this trailer.
I don't think I can do this job, Tim. As soon as I lay down, all I see are those kids' faces. How long you been doing this? 12 years. How do you do it? It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen. It has already passed the illegal arms trade, and soon it's going to pass the drug trade.
Señor Timoteo, tu rescató niños, ¿verdad? Quizá puedas ayudarme a encontrar a mi hermana.
Imagine walking into a room right now, seeing an empty bed.
For Homeland Security, you know we can't go off rescuing kids in Colombia.
This job tears you to pieces. This is my one chance to put those pieces back together.
We're talking about extracting an 11-year-old girl from an army of rebels.
Not just her. I'm talking about rescuing hundreds of kids.
She could be a block down the road, or she could be in Moscow, Bangkok, LA.
Over 2 million children a year are being sucked into the deepest recesses of hell. If we do nothing, someday it's going to reach the likes of you. What if this was your daughter?
Yeah. I mean, isn't that an intense freaking trailer? That is like one of the best trailers I've ever seen. Okay. It is definitely something that, nobody likes to talk about, but somebody has to expose it, somebody has to bring it to light. Elon Musk has even jumped on board. And he is pushing the movie. He is helping to promote the movie. So I don't know. I don't know about him, but I do know that that is something that, you know, should be brought to light for sure. Okay. Now, which one of it is this? Hold on. I think it's this one. Okay. Pill drop number 18 from Twitter. The trafficking of children spans back decades. Remember the old milk cartons back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, even well into the 2000s, where they had the pictures of missing children on. They were subsequently taken off the milk cartons and placed in Walmarts. They were advertisements. Do you know of anyone who actually called those numbers on the back of the cartons? So this person is saying that those are actually advertisements for the children. They weren't actually missing. They were children that they were trying to get rid of, you know, trying to traffic. If you're too young to remember, ask your parents. Have they ever called the number on the back of the carton? It only takes 30 seconds to disappear a child, at least 40 for an adult. Disappeared without a trace. Nobody or no thing can disappear from the planet. They were taken underground and mass transported to other countries. JCPenney, Sears, and Roebuck, etc. Now it's Wayfair, Amazon, Etsy, and more. Advertisements. So let me pull this up. These pictures. Okay, so that's what they're saying, that these weren't actually missing children. These were children that they wanted to move. Okay, now here it shows you this storage cabinet. Now look at the names. Now this is from Wayfair, I think. But Anya storage cabinet, $11,000. Annabelle storage cabinet, $11,000. Alasia storage cabinet, $1,400. Okay, you see that? Now, here's in the Walmart's Missing Children's Network. 16,182 children featured on Walmart's Missing Children's Network have been recovered since January 1st, 1996. Okay. Now, look at this. Missing from Columbus, Ohio, 17-year-old Samaya Mumin. Samaya 5 shelf, $12,000. Here you have another one. Missing. Yuritsa, can't really make out her last name, $14,000. I mean, is that, I mean, what do you think? What do you guys think about that? Yeah, that's what it looks like, guys. I mean, $12,000, $13,000 for a 5-drawer shelf. Come on. Yeah, I mean, it must be. Okay. But, you know, everybody do your own research. Think for yourself. Do not take anything that I say as fact or anything. I state my opinion. You do your own research and figure it out for yourself. I'm going to take a second, ask you guys to please. Oh, it's getting super, super windy here. And it's downpouring. Take a second. Did y'all hear that thunder? Take a second, hit that thumbs up if you have not done so. Please consider subbing to the channel. If you want to become a member, the link's down in the description below. And anybody who wants to donate, also links are down in the description below. All right, moving on. So check this out. Billionaire James Crown dies in crash at Colorado racetrack. Now, this was today. A prominent Chicago billionaire died in a car crash Sunday at a racetrack in Colorado, officials said. James Crown, a businessman and socialite who was part of Chicago's wealthy Crown family, suffered blunt force trauma after hitting an impact barrier at Aspen Motorsports Park in Woody Creek. The Pitkin County Coroner's Office said in a news release. A final cause of death for Crown is still pending an investigation by the coroner's office. Crown, who owned the Aspen Skiing Company, among other business ventures, was 70 years old at the time of his death. The fatal crash has been ruled an accident by the coroner in Pitkin County, where Crown lived part-time in addition to Chicago. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson shared a statement with CBS Chicago in response to the news of Crown's death, telling the station that he was devastated when he heard about the crash. Oh my God. Let me make sure my windows are shut so I don't get rain pouring in here. Gosh. It is crazy right now. All of a sudden, it is freaking pouring cats and dogs. And the wind is crazy. Okay. Hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully, knock on wood, we don't lose power. All right. You'll get in a minute why I'm telling you this. A lifelong Chicagoan, Jim gave back to the city through philanthropy and leadership on a number of civic and academic boards, as he was deeply committed to investing in Chicago and its people. With his generosity, Jim truly embodied the soul of Chicago. I was especially grateful for his commitment to work collaboratively with my administration to build a safer Chicago. Having met recently to share ideas, I send my deepest condolences to his wife, 4 children, grandchildren, and the entire Crown family, and pray for their peace. All right. Crown was a member of the Civic Committee of the Commercial Club of Chicago, a nonprofit community organization, according to CBS Chicago. He recently helped launch an initiative with the Civic Committee that aimed to raise tens of millions of dollars over the next several years to help reduce crime in Chicago by working with local organizations and leaders. Crown said earlier this month that the new initiative aims to improve safety throughout the city. Crown and his wife had just been guests at a state dinner at the White House last week, and President Biden released a statement Monday saying Jim represented America at its best. You heard that, right? At the White House, President Biden released a statement Monday saying Jim represented America at its best, industrious, big-hearted, and always looking out for each other. Okay. Died in a car accident, right? Now let me show you this. Yes, Kiki. I'm going there right now. Okay. JP Morgan board member and billionaire James Crown has died from a car accident. He was once considered to be in Barack Obama's inner circle. He was appointed by Obama in 2014 to serve on his intelligence advisory board. Now, my thoughts. Now, this is MJ Truth Ultra. It sounds like James Crown was taken out. It sounds like JP Morgan is cleaning up some loose ends. They're a criminal syndicate. The list of their criminal behavior grows. Now, again, I am reading what is on the screen, what was written. Okay. June 2019. Ship seized in $1.3 billion cocaine bust is owned by JP Morgan Chase. April 2023. JP Morgan's bombshell Jeffrey Epstein messages revealed. Execs joked about 16-year-old Miley Cyrus and Sugar Daddy. May 2023. The Jeffrey Epstein files. Trove of never-before-seen emails and calendars that included JP Morgan execs as well as big celebrities and political elites. May 2023. Former JP Morgan banking chief Jess Staley accused of aggressively assaulting Jeffrey Epstein victim with his permission. May 2023. U.S. Virgin Islands can't find Google co-founder Larry Page to subpoena him in a lawsuit against JP Morgan Chase for enabling Epstein's ring. May 2023. Epstein used U.S. Virgin Islands First Lady to remain unchecked in trafficking scheme, JP Morgan claims in court filing. And again, here are all of the news articles or anywhere their source, right, of where they got this information from. June 2023. JP Morgan agrees to pay Epstein victims $290 million in historic class action lawsuit settlement after it was revealed bank continued to do business with him for years, despite labeling him a high-risk client. June 2023. Report concluded in 2019 that Epstein regularly gave personal and business advice to former JP Morgan chief Jess Staley, set up meetings with government officials. June 2023. BlackRock JP Morgan set up Reconstruction Bank for Ukraine. June 2023. JP Morgan mistakenly deletes 47 million emails permanently. Now, here's the video.
Businessman James Crown has died. He died in a single vehicle accident at the Aspen Motorsports Park in Colorado. Crown collided with an impact barrier. The official cause of death is pending an autopsy, but the coroner's office says multiple blunt force trauma was evident. Crown was part of the billionaire Crown family and owned Aspen Skiing Company. He was 70 years old. Businessman James Crown has died. He died in a single vehicle accident.
Okay. There are lots of accidents, aren't they? All right. CNN producer gets 19 years in prison for child sex crimes. A former CNN producer has been sentenced to 19 years in prison after being convicted of crimes involving an underage girl. John Griffin of Stamford, Connecticut, pleaded guilty in federal court this past December to using interstate commerce to lure a 9-year-old girl into illegal acts at his Vermont ski home. He was ultimately sentenced on Tuesday to 19 years in federal prison and an additional 15 years of supervised release. I mean, why can't people like that go? Why do they got to get put in federal prison, right? Federal prison is a lot cushier than like a state prison, right? Like, you should send people like that to, like, I don't know, really bad prisons. According to the plea deal, the former CNN producer met a woman on a website during the summer of 2020 and convinced her to bring her young daughter to his Ludlow, Vermont ski home. Griffin paid the woman $3,000 to fly from Nevada to Boston, where he then picked them up and drove them to the $1.8 million home. Per unsealed court document, Griffin expressed his belief that is a term that can be attributed to the core of any female, and proclaimed a woman is a woman regardless of her age, as conveyed in messages extracted from the indictment. Griffin transmitted text messages to the mother with 2 daughters, aged 9 and 13, articulating, "One of the big lies of this society is that women are delicate, innocent angels, and they are, in actuality, naturally the dirtiest sluts possible in every metric." Wow, he sounds like a winner. The producer affiliated with CNN is also alleged to have messaged the mother, stating, "When handled appropriately, a woman is a woman regardless of her age," and pushed the mother to ensure that her 13-year-old daughter was trained properly. The indictment signified that he had sexually trained girls as young as 7 years old and suggested to a mother that her 14-year-old daughter would be a good candidate for such training. He purportedly suggested the training would commence on a video chat where he planned to instruct the 14-year-old and her mother. Okay, just nasty, right? Just 19 years doesn't even seem like long enough, does it? He should never be allowed on the streets again. All right, moving on. Exclusive. The trans school conspiracy exposed. Midwest teachers trade tips on subversively and quietly transitioning parents and skirting Republican gender laws in workshop funded by federal government. Funded by the federal government. Remember when I did that video back in, 2021, I think, maybe the end of 2021, beginning of 2022. It might even have been earlier than that. And I said, they're going to come for your children in every way. Well, now you have teachers who are running workshops on finding ways to transition kids without telling their parents, and it's being paid for by the federal government. Dozens of Midwestern teachers met online this week and traded tips on helping trans students change gender at school without their parents' knowledge, while criticizing a raft of new Republican laws on sex and identity. DailyMail.com gained access to an online session hosted by the Midwest and Plains Equity Assistance Center, which is funded by the Department of Education, attended by some 30 teachers from Michigan, Iowa, Ohio, Illinois, and beyond. In the 4-hour workshop, they discussed helping trans students in the face of new laws in Republican-run states on gender, pronouns, names, parents' rights, bathroom access, and sports teams. Some teachers said they followed the rules, but others discussed being subversive, how their personal code of ethics trumped laws, and how to hide a trans student's new name and gender from their parents. It's weird that they won't. Okay. The expose comes amid growing tensions between traditional parents who worry about newfangled gender ideas in schools and some progressive teachers who say they need to protect trans students from their own families. Kicking off the workshop, Angel Nathan, the MAP specialist. Yeah, that's what I said. The MAP specialist who hosted the session, federally funded. The government paid for a workshop that is run by a minor attracted person specialist to talk to teachers about things that they should do with children and hide it from their parents. Paid for by the federal government. Okay. Whoops, let me get back over here. Who hosted the session said attendees would review the new laws in a bid to remedy the marginalizing effects and disrupt problematic policies. In the discussion and role play sessions that followed, the teachers, administrators, principals, and counselors spoke about trans students and their families in a way that would alarm many parents. Kimberly Martin, the DEI coordinator for Royal Oak Schools, which serves 5,000 K-12 students in Michigan, spoke about helping trans students keep their gender change a secret. We're working with our record-keeping system so that certain screens can't be seen by the parents. If there's a nickname in there we're trying to hide, Martin told the online gathering. Jennifer Haglund, counselor for Ames Community Schools, which serves 5,000 K-12 Iowa students, complained about Republican Governor Kim Reynolds in March signing a law that bars biological males from competing on female sports teams. She bragged about her own activism and of taking part in protest marches. I know that I have my own right code of ethics, and that doesn't always go along with the law. Shay Martin, an Ohio-based trans educator who writes a socialist, feminist, and anti-racist blog called Radical Teacher, said she worked against laws that prohibit or restrict trans advocacy. The stakes are very high for trans youth, Martin said. I think that requires working subversively and quietly sometimes to make sure that trans kids have what they need. There's all the teachers. Martin did not describe any subversive acts, but later spoke about teachers addressing sexuality with elementary students who are aged between 5 and 10. When talking about men, women, playground crushes, love, and marriage with youngsters, teachers should be wary of treating reinforced heterosexuality as the norm. See? Finally, Yesenia J. Captain, the Director of Educational Services at Woodland School District, which serves some 4,600 K-8 students across 4 schools in Lake County, Illinois, slammed conservative teachers in a nearby district. Parents and teachers across Illinois have in recent years been angered by Democrat-led efforts to put tampons and sanitary napkins in boys' bathrooms so that trans female to male students can access them. Told her colleagues about a nearby school board meeting that exploded in violence over the tampon controversy. That became a big violent issue because the individuals who were involved are also educators, which is sickening. At no point in the session did any teacher say parents might know what's best for their own kids, nor question whether affirmation on demand was the only way to help a trans-identified student. Teaching new wave gender ideology in schools and secretly affirming trans-identified students have become hot-button issues in America's culture wars between liberals and conservatives. I don't even look at it like that. I look at it like every parent should care, right? That this affects you. You know, some traditional parents worry about activist teachers influencing kids with radical gender ideas and even encouraging them to transition. Tensions have led to lawsuits and violent school board meetings across the country. Republican politicians in red states have introduced more than 500 bills affecting LGBTQ people this year, with dozens already signed into law, says the Human Rights Campaign. Craziness. Just more way to divide you and your children. That's all that it is. Welcome, Renegade. Oh, thanks, Mama Moon. I try. Okay.
Last year, the National Park Service provided $102.2 million for the San Francisco National Maritime Historical Park. This was the second most expensive project funded. Can you tell me which congressional district this project is located in?
It is in Congresswoman, former Speaker Nancy Pelosi's district.
Right, California 11, represented by Speaker Pelosi. National Park Service also gave $63.5 million to the Golden Gate National Recreation Area, the fourth most expensive project funded last year. Do you know which congressional district that project is in?
I cannot recall off the top of my head.
That's Speaker Pelosi's, former Speaker Pelosi's district as well. The National Park Service received $200 million in the Inflation Reduction Act last year for deferred maintenance at the National Park Service. Can you tell us how that money was used?
That money went to the Presidio Trust, and they're using it on their deferred maintenance because they are not eligible for GOA funding.
So where's the Presidio Trust located?
It is within the boundaries of the national area that we.
In whose congressional district?
That is also in former Speaker Pelosi's district.
In total, the National Park Service spent more than $365 million last year on deferred maintenance in Nancy Pelosi's district, which is almost a quarter. It's 24% of the total funding your agency received last year to address deferred maintenance nationwide. Do you know how many states have deferred maintenance backlogs that could have been fully addressed using this funding?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Well, it's 37.
All that millions and millions of dollars just for Nancy Pelosi's district for park maintenance. Come on. You ever seen her neighborhood? You ever seen it? They didn't need that much money for park maintenance. They definitely did not. Okay. Yeah, so the last thing that I wanted to save was to talk about Kylie. So I had done a community post voting thing. If y'all were interested in a panel, me getting a panel together, and talking about the Kylie case, where we are now, I wanted to know if you guys would be interested in that. I want to say that so far 291 people have voted. Please, if you have not voted, I don't care how you vote, yes or no, but if you have not voted, please go on there and vote, because I'm only going to do it if enough people, even care. I mean, it's gotten to this point that, I'm really just looking at it from every other angle now, because just nothing has ever made sense. And like I said, we're all these months later and we have absolutely nothing, no evidence, no proof of nothing. So if you guys are still interested in that, I mean, it's a battle for me, because, Chad's like, please stop with the Kylie, please move on. Like, please stop. And I'm like, you guys know it's hard for me. So if you guys are interested, please make sure you go on that community post and you vote, please. Yeah, but I'd like to get a panel together, in a very professional and respectful way, to really talk about what's going on what's going on, to really talk about where we're at here. Okay, good. Thank you for voting. Yeah. And I wanted to, get some good, interesting people that had some stuff to say. I want to get people with different opinions. I want to, so we can really, really, really go at this, really discuss this and pick apart why I think the way I think and why this person thinks the way they think. And maybe something will happen. Maybe something will come of it. So if you guys are interested in that, like I said, please go and vote on that. I need to increase them numbers, or, Chad's never going to want me to do it. And I just am not, I got too many battles to fight. I don't need another one. But yeah, so the kids came up. Bella had another puppy. So we're up to 11 puppies. I will try to get some pictures for you guys tonight. I will post them on my Instagram as soon as I do. Man, that's a lot of freaking puppies, y'all. That's a lot of puppies. That's a lot of dog food. You know what? It will be. And we're going to put an ad out to try to get rid of some puppies. Obviously, I'm not going to ship them out of state. I mean, so I would have to I'm going to put the ad out, and then we will meet, when they are ready to go. And we'll meet in a mutual place, a public place, and we'll, get the puppies. So that'll be cool. But yes, I cannot wait to post. I cannot wait for y'all to see these pictures. They are so cute. But Bella's doing really well, so thank you guys for that. All right, and I guess I'm going to end this one here tonight. I love you guys. Please hit that thumbs up. Please sub to the channel. Like I said, if you want to become a member, go ahead and join the family. We would love to have you. It's great to be back. I've been gone for a little while, so I'm glad to be back with you guys. We do have a lot going on, so I ask that if anybody can, if you can, please go ahead and try to help out the channel. Help us out with everything we got going on, especially all the new babies now. And if you want to donate, the links are all down in the description below. I love you guys. Please comment after. Please come back and comment. Please share this video. And I love you guys. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe. Keep asking those hard questions. Keep spreading that light. I will see you guys next time.